Hi there. Welcome to Infoblox Automation with Postman, Part 3. My name is Glenn Gray. I'm an enterprise architect with over 20 years IT experience. Today, I'm going to demonstrate how using REST APIs and Postman can make managing DNS, DHCP, and IP address provisioning a lot easier. In this episode, I will demonstrate how to update objects in the Infoblox DDI grid system via its REST API using the put method. Let's get started. I will open Postman and pick up where I left off in Part 2, where I showcased the post method for creating objects. I will use A-record objects and quad A-record objects for this demonstration. I want to do a brief recap before jumping into the put method though. Going to the root of my collection and the test tab, I see the JavaScript snippet I applied in the first episode. Recall that this code renders the API response in the Postman Visualizer tab. I'm going to add another folder to my collection tree so I can gather my put requests. Also, I want to explore the get method again to demonstrate how to further customize response content. Notice I've inserted additional query parameters. Since the Infoblox product can store thousands of records, there may be instances where I want to retrieve a limited number of them. In addition, the Infoblox system caps the number of objects it will return in an API response to 1,000 records. So, if I have more than that, I will need to page through them. To do this, the Infoblox API schema provides the parameter controls for return as object, paging, and max results. Furthermore, I can call specific records by name or FQDN, In order to craft the put requests, I can duplicate the post methods to provide a starting point. Once I've made copies, I move them to the put folder and edit the resource definition, renaming the request and selecting the put method. For now, I'm removing the resource definition, but I will come back in a minute to define it. Also, I can inspect the body and adjust the dynamic variables that populate the specified field values. Returning to the root folder and the test tab, I will add another JavaScript snippet. Because the Infoblox product uses a dynamic reference to point to existing objects, I will need to figure out a way to get and store it. This new snippet evaluates the Postman request method. If it is not a GET request, it sets an environment variable with retrieved JSON data. Else, if the request is a GET, it will evaluate it to determine if it contains the next page ID. Then set it as an environment variable, as well as determine if it was returned as a result object. Finally, it will capture the object reference and set an environment variable I chose to name object reference with the _ref value. With the new test code applied, I will test a request to obtain the object reference needed to successfully execute a put request. Now, I can add the resource pointer to the put request in the form of a variable reference. I'll do this on both the A and quad A put requests. I will duplicate the get record A by name and quad A by name requests and have them precede the put request. With the JavaScript logic I created, this will read the _ref value, store it as a dynamic variable, and make it available to the subsequent put request. I can now go to the folder and run the orchestration sequence. I will use a CSV file containing a list of FQDN values and other variable fields I want to update, and Postman will iterate over them, resulting in bulk updates. I'll take a preview glimpse before I execute, just to check my values and variable syntax. Note that I will be altering the record TTL value from 43,200 to 3,600 seconds. Now I will execute. As I review the iteration results, I notice the put requests failed. Looking at the Put Message Body tab, I see that the field named View is defined. The Infoblox product does not allow for this field to be reassigned once it's been created. So, if it did need to be assigned to a different view, the object would need to be deleted and recreated instead of updated. I have intentionally introduced this error so that I can point out that it may be necessary to modify the data body JSON payload of a put request to be slightly different from a post request. With the field definition removed, I will run the sequence again. Voila! I'll query all A and quad A records just to show the change took effect. I can see the object TTL values are now 3,600 seconds. That's all for this episode. Thanks for watching and stay tuned. I'll be back soon to demonstrate the delete method and finalize the complete automation suite.